InsideThunder.com, powered by iHeartMedia, Oklahoma City.
Well, first and foremost, just want to welcome everybody here this afternoon. Obviously, it's an exciting day for the Thunder organization and also for the community here in Oklahoma City. I want to make sure that before I begin, I welcome Billy's family, his wife Christine, kids, and mother and father in attendance today, as well as some very close friends. So it's wonderful to have everybody here and welcome them to the Thunder organization and Thunder family. As we step back and we started to evaluate the job description for the next Thunder head coach, and not just that, but also where the role of the head coach in the NBA we felt was going to go to in the future, we came up with some specific criteria that we thought would be important, not just from a basketball standpoint, but also for our organization in total. Things that were important to us. The culture of our organization is very special to us, somebody that we feel like could align themselves and continue to push us forward and stimulate us. Somebody that we felt had the qualities of a high-achieving person in any industry, and somebody that we felt like had great tactical competence and creativity in their craft. Those are the things that we really felt like were necessary for us moving forward. So we cast a wide net, we stepped back, we looked at a lot of different people, but as we were looking through the candidates and the people we had identified as potential people, it became pretty evident to us that Billy Donovan was the right person for this position and to lead the Thunder on the sidelines. A couple of reasons why. Number one, this is a naturally, intrinsically driven individual. He is naturally curious. He's a person that has great emotional intelligence and awareness. He's a person that has a relentless work ethic and someone that we feel like is a great fit for our environment. Not only our environment, but also a great fit for the community of Oklahoma City because of how he conducts his business, the way his teams perform, and we really feel that he's a great fit for us on and off the floor. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Billy Donovan as the next head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you to Sam and Mr. Bennett and the entire Thunder organization. I'm very, very honored. It's been a complete whirlwind for me the last 4 or 5 days. I am extremely thankful the way Sam laid out the Thunder organization to me over about a 2.5 day period, because to be honest with you, I really did not know a lot about the Oklahoma City Thunder. I knew of Sam. I knew of, obviously, the players, the organization, but I didn't know what it was about. And it was that really made me turn my head when I really started to find out a lot more, that I think the qualities, the values, what this organization is about is directly in line and mirrors what I believe. The first thing that was very, very important to me is, after finishing up Florida for 19 years, I was very, very entrenched, and so was my family, into the community. And when you talk about leaving a place after 19 years, the way Sam talks about how he wants the Thunder organization to identify with the community and how important that is, that really, really hit home with me. And that's really important, because it was very clear that the organization is bigger than just basketball. It's totally wants to be and is connected inside the community. So that was the first thing that was really important to me, because I felt like I had that in Gainesville, Florida. The second thing that was very, very important to me was the culture and the people that are inside the organization, and Mr. Bennett as well. The way everything is integrated and the level and quality of people inside the organization, I really feel like it's a great opportunity for me to grow as a person and really be challenged as a person in a lot of different ways. And all I want to do today is not about me, okay? It's about the team and the organization. I hope in some way I can bring value to the team, I can bring value to the organization, and I can be a part to help. And then I think the last part is And I've had a chance to reach out to a few of the players, and I had a chance to see Kevin a little bit today, and I saw Nick, briefly. The way Sam described these guys as people, their talents speak for themselves. The way they were described to me as terms of workers, the way they were described to me in terms of being entrenched and caring about the community. I thought all the way around it was really a special situation, and with a special group of people that I really felt like I was really in line with a lot of the values, the cultures, the vision, where they want this to go. And again, I thank Sam, because I cannot tell you how much he tried to bring me into the environment in the Thunder organization. And I would say that I'm completely aligned and believe that's what goes into being successful, not only as a coach, but as a person. And I also believe it's what goes into helping other people grow and develop. So I really feel I'm going to be in a situation where I'm going to get a chance to grow and develop, and in a situation where hopefully I can bring value and I can help out as well. So I'm very honored and thankful to be sitting up here, and very, very excited to be part of this community.
With that, questions? You wait for the mic to come to you. Please announce your name and affiliate, please.
Coach Bob Barry, KFOR, the NBC in Oklahoma City. You had an opportunity several years ago with Orlando that you changed your mind on. What internally feels so right about this job versus that other opportunity in '07?
Well, I think that the Orlando situation really had nothing to do with Orlando. It had a lot more to do with me, and I think where I was at that time in my life. We were coming off of 2 national championships, and I didn't feel like my job was completed there. I felt like I had more to do. This time around, I think when Sam called and said he wanted to meet and talk, I knew it was going to have to take something very, very special. When I say special, I'm talking about special in terms of what I value and what's important to me. And what's important to me are the things that are inside that organization. And what's important to me is the kind of people and players I'm going to have a chance to be associated with every single day and hopefully help. So I just felt like, for me, after 19 years, I felt like I left my heart and soul and gave Gainesville and the University of Florida everything I had, and I just had a little bit more peace about this at this point in time in my life. And believe me, the last 48 hours, as Sam can tell you, have been very, very difficult, very, very challenging, because there was a lot of deep, long-lasting relationships that are left back there.
Myron Patton, Fox 25. Lots been made about your successful college coaching career, but no NBA experience. Do you think there will be a learning curve, and why do you think that what you did in college will translate to the NBA?
I've been an NBA coach before. It's only for a day. I think one of the things with me is I'm going to work extremely hard. I think, as Sam said, I'm curious to learn and grow. I think there's unbelievable people that are going to be around me. I'm excited about learning and growing. That's really, really important to me. And again, I hope I can put people inside the organization and even the players in a position where they can learn and grow as well. So I feel very strongly about the game of basketball, and what I'll be able to learn and how quickly I'll be able to learn it. And there's no question it's going to be a transition period. I don't not anticipate that, but that's something I think that I'll go through and work through, and I'll have great people around me to help me if it comes to any roadblocks or things like that are a struggle. And I feel very confident with the people inside the organization. I feel very, very confident with the players, just the way Sam described all of them to me, and I'm get a chance hopefully next week to spend more time with them personally.
Dean Blevins, News 9. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
How do you see Sam mentioned that the role of a head coach in the NBA has changed, that it's evolving. Can you get into that a little bit? And how do you value the need to have assistants with strong NBA experience?
Well, I think Sam could probably talk a little bit more closely to the changes in coaching in the NBA. I just know that what I believe in as a coach, that your staff has to be interconnected, interwoven. It's got to be integrated. It's got to be everybody pulling in one direction together as a team. And the way it was broken down, and Sam broke down just the organization and all the people that are there, it's all about integrating people and allowing people to bring their strengths and talents to the forefront while you bring your strengths and talents to the forefront, and then you try to move forward. Those are very, very similar characteristics of the things that we've tried to do at Florida, things that I believe in. So I just felt very, very strongly about what Sam has built inside it. It's really a lot more than basketball. It's really about growth. It's about people. It's about the community. It's about the players. You know, it's not about me. It's about what I can bring and add value to help what I would consider an outstanding organization. As far as the assistants go, you know, it's hard for me right now just sitting up here and going through what I went through. But with Sam and the rest of the staff, we're going to sit down and try to obviously hire a really, really good staff. You know, I know a lot of different people. I'll go through that process. I think, but the most important thing is getting people that are going to fit the kind of culture that's there inside that building, as well as being very competent and very good and very skilled.
Yeah, Cliff Brunn, Associated Press. Your thoughts on the challenge that you face, because this is an organization that's done pretty much everything, even been to the NBA Finals. You're a guy that's expected to take them to the next level. Your thoughts not only on becoming an NBA coach for the first time, but being expected to take that next step.
Well, you know, I would say this. Scott Brooks has done an outstanding job while he was here, and I hope that I can continue to build off of what he's built. I know that's very important to the organization. I think guys like Kevin and Russell and Serge and, you know, Nick Collison and all those players, I think that they have high expectations of what they want to do. And, you know, we really haven't had a chance to really sit down and talk and get to know each other. Like I said, Kevin was around a little bit earlier and we were able to communicate. But I think just getting on the same page, I think that's really important. You know, just a style of play, trying to put these guys in positions that they can do and be successful and be who they are on the court, and trying to make the game easy, trying to help them with the game, make it easier for them, and putting them in situations that they want to be in, and maybe sharing a vision that I see the team playing. And I think all those things are going to it's going to take some time to get there. I do think this, and whether it's high school, college, or the NBA, I would say this: the ingredients to go into winning are kind of across the board. And I think the biggest thing that I would look at, and I appreciate what Sam had talked to me about, was the process of improving every single day. The process of improving every single day, like that has got to be certainly a very, very big factor, you know, in all this for the team. Just getting better every single day and improving, not only on the skill and the basketball, but improving in discipline, improving in focus, improving in poise, you know, their connectivity, their relationships. Like, it's just a constant evolution of improvement right now. And I think Sam said it many times, there's a process you have to go through, and you've got to be committed to that process.
Barry?
Yeah, Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman. Billy, one of the advantages of a coaching change is you get a new voice with a group of guys. One of the disadvantages is you're not sure how that voice will be received. How do you make sure that your new team is going to be in tune and listen and follow what you say?
Well, the one thing I'm going to say is that all these guys and everybody sitting in here, we're all people. We all have feelings. We all have emotions. You know, I think sometimes people maybe look at, you know, Kevin, you know, or Russell or Serge and some of these guys and look at them as these superhuman athletes and how great and talented they are, but they're people, you know. And I think the most important part to me is I want to develop a relationship with them, you know, and it's not really about my voice. It's not my voice. This is, you know, what can I do to help them? It's about them. It's about the players. And that's the one thing Sam has said all along. The organization is set up to help the players. It's about the players. It's not about me coming in here and them, you know, hearing my voice. It's about me coming in really and trying to develop a close relationship with them where there's trust built up, where they feel like I'm genuinely and sincerely trying to help them grow and develop. That's the most important thing to me, rather than just my voice.
Anthony Slater with the Oklahoman. I mean, you mentioned the excitement of getting into the culture, but there also has to be an excitement coaching Kevin Durant, coaching Russell Westbrook. How much have you watched them, you know, through their careers, and how excited are you to coach them?
Well, I mean, both are great players, you know, have accomplished some incredible things, you know, as teammates, collectively, individually. You know, it's a privilege to coach guys like that and have the opportunity to coach guys like that. But the one thing that really resonated with me with Sam was just the kind of people they are. They're great people. And that's important to me, too. You know, when you're coaching, you want to be around high-character people. I think not only those two guys, but their team, at least according to Sam, what he's tried to put together is high-character, hard-working people. So to me, I'm really excited for someone as talented as Kevin and Russell and Serge and all the other guys, that I can be around such great people that are talented. So I think for me, really, the most important thing is the relationship piece of it to start with.
Michael Kenny, Norman transcript. Coach, you talked about how tough the decision was to decide to leave Florida. When, I guess, did you make that final decision that you're going to make that jump to the Thunder?
Well, we had a chance to meet. I would say that I felt pretty good when I woke up. Probably I don't know, it was maybe Wednesday morning. It was when I started to feel really, really good. And you know, Sam and I guess maybe, was it Thursday morning? It was Thursday morning, Sam? Thursday, yeah, I'm sorry. I lost track of my days. Thursday morning, because there was a process. Like, I knew nothing of the Oklahoma City Thunder in terms of the inner workings of how the organization works and what Sam's looking for. I had no idea. So Sam laid out, I mean, it took a long time to show me, okay, here's what we do, here is our culture, this is what we believe in, these are our philosophies. And that took a while to go through. And I'd say as I started to listen and hear, I started to feel like, okay, this is making sense. I'd say Thursday morning was when I felt like, okay, I felt very, very strongly about it. But, you know, obviously having to tell a lot of other people, that was very, 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 very difficult as well.
Coach Nick Gallo, Thunder.nba.com. Just curious, besides today, had you spent any time in Oklahoma? What were your impressions?
You know, I told Sam this. I think it'll probably resonate with a lot of people here. There was a 16 and under AAU basketball tournament in Oklahoma City, and it was about 1 week after the bombing. And I was driving in towards downtown, and I couldn't believe driving, seeing all the windows and the buildings and destruction, and you could see that the city was paralyzed. And I just happened to kind of try to get down closer, and there was a security guard who recognized me and said, hey, Coach, you know, I'll take you. I'll show you what happened. And he took me through. It was a week after it happened, and I could not believe the devastation. I can't even imagine what this city went through. So I think when Sam talked to me about the integration of the Thunder into Oklahoma City, into the community, into the people, after going through that experience and seeing that, like, that makes a lot of sense to me. Because it's really, in a lot of ways, like I said, it's about the player. It's about the people of Oklahoma too, and Sam educated me a lot on a lot of other things. So that really resonated with me. So that's, you know, was really probably one of the first times I came to Oklahoma City. Was right after that.
Andrew Gilman, Fox Southwest. Coach, obviously you've won a bunch at the college level. You've been very successful. But what makes you nervous about the NBA? What are you apprehensive about?
You know, I'm excited. I think anytime you walk into the unknown, there's going to be a level of uncertainty. I don't think there's any question about that. I'm okay with that. I feel very, very strongly in terms of the work ethic, the people that I'm around, the players that I'm around. I'm excited for the challenge. I'm excited to try to bring value. And again, this is not about me. This is about what kind of value can I bring to the players, to the organization, to Sam. How can I raise the level of the people in that building? How can I raise the level of play of the players? And how can I go about doing those kind of things? So, you know, I'm starting over. You know, there's not, outside of spending a lot of time with Sam, I'm just kind of meeting everybody for the first time. And I got a lot of people I got to try to impact. And I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. Like, I'm excited about trying to help the players, put them in situations on the court that they can be successful, and, you know, trying to impact the people inside the building, you know, and I'm starting from scratch. So that could be somewhat overwhelming for me, but I'm also excited about it because I know I'm really, really around good people.
Coach Bob Barry, Jr., KFR, Oklahoma City again. What do you have anything contractually, or have you discussed with Sam, I want to hire my entire staff all the way from chefs, nutritionists, strength and conditioning assistants, or will you be retaining some people that have been here previous?
You're talking about bringing people from Florida?
Anywhere.
No, we have. I mean, I haven't talked to Sam. I think one of the things, you know, out of respect to the organization, and I think, you know, getting with Sam to really sit down, we've talked about staffing, but really have made any decisions, and I want to obviously include Sam part of it, to be a part of it, and help me through that. It's just been the last 3 or 4 days, you know, there's only so much you could get through. I needed to first figure out is, could I bring value to the organization? Did I feel like I could bring value? And did I feel like from a culture standpoint, environment standpoint, is this the environment I wanted to be in? So we're going to work on the staff, you know, as soon as possible, and I'll get to that. We're just going to try to do the best job hiring the best staff we can.
Coach Justin Edgar of the Associated Press. Lots been said about the number of players, former college players you have in the NBA. Why do you feel like through your college program you've been able to get established a direction with those players?
Well, I think a couple of reasons. I think one, we recruited some guys that had a great work ethic, really good work ethic. We hired guys where winning was very important to them, and they were very, very competitive. And I think in probably, hopefully, some small way, the player development, the improvement, the amount of time and energy we put into those guys, helped them grow and develop. It was guys that had a lot of quote-unquote NBA potential, NBA ability, that really had a great drive. And how do we as coaches utilize those guys and put them in a situation where they could be successful? And I've been very fortunate. That's the thing that resonated with me when Sam starts talking about Russell as a person and Kevin as a person. Like, that's how I feel about Noah. That's how I feel about Horford. That's how I feel about Parsons. That's how I feel about a Nick Kalathis. I feel that way about those guys. And there's many more I can, Mike Miller. I mean, I feel that way about those guys. So when you hear really good, talented players want to work like that and compete like that, you want to help them. It's enjoyable to be able to do that.
Dean Blevins, News 9. Coach, how much have you kept up with the NBA? I mean, you work hard, that you come with that track record, but have you followed it closely the last few years?
I watch NBA games. I love the game of basketball. Obviously it's a little bit more challenging once we get into our season, but clearly when our season's over with, I think probably most college coaches, I'm not the only one, watch certainly the playoffs and watch those games and the end of the season. So I do follow the game.
Myron Patton, Fox 25 again. When people watch your team, they may have watched it Florida, what will they notice about the Thunder? I mean, obviously the NBA game's different. There's some certain sets everybody runs, pick and roll, things of that nature. What will they notice about the style of plays that you'll bring to the Thunder?
I think for all the players, I want to talk to them and hear from them, because I think they've got to be obviously a part of kind of what I think vision-wise. But I've always been a ball movement, player movement, extra pass team. And coach. That's what I really believe in. Ball movement, player movement, extra pass. If you've got one and someone's got a better one, move the ball. And creating multiple actions, on different sides of the floor, keeping the floor moving, keeping it spaced, and the ball continuing to move. Playing fast, moving and playing into a flow on offense. Playing out of concepts, not trying to stop the game and trying to call a play every time, but let those guys create and make plays inside the framework of that vision of player movement, ball movement, making the extra pass, being unselfish, and hopefully in some way I can kind of show and teach and let these guys know of my vision and how I believe I can implement something to try to take advantage of all of them, all their talents, and not just Kevin and Russell, but all of them. And that's going to take time to build those relationships and talk to those guys about those things.
Coach Randy Renner, NBA.com and InsideThunder.com. You've been described by some as an NBA coach who just happened to be coaching in college with some of your philosophies, some of which you just talked about. Would you agree with that assessment? And might that make your transition to the NBA perhaps easier than maybe another college coach?
I would say that from a college perspective, I always felt like the NBA, as it relates to offensive concepts, has been ahead of the college game, and it will continue to change and evolve. I've always liked watching the NBA because there are concepts and philosophies that I really like that translate into college that are really good, and I think you can, as a coach, you can grow. So I do think the things that we've tried to do at Florida would translate in terms of a style of play and a system. Now, there's certain things you just can't do in college that do in the NBA just based on the spacing and a three-point line and a wider lane. But there are concepts and movements and things like that you can do. So I think the style of play would translate, to this level.
Jesus Del Real from Telemundo and Univision. Thank you so much. The Thunder team is a team who is very participating in the community, like schools, public schools, and also Russell have an awesome community engagement. So how do you participate with that community, also the kids and things like that?
Well, my wife and I and our family were very, very involved in the community in Gainesville, and that was very important to me. And I know that's part of the environment and the culture that Sam has created, that the Thunder organization is really connected and unified, not only with the Oklahoma City, but the entire state of Oklahoma. And I know the players have done things when there's been some tragedies and some setbacks. We would like to be involved and help out as much as we can in the community, because I do believe in that, and I know that the Thunder believe in that. I know Sam and Mr. Bennett believe deeply in that, and I think that's when you're going through a process, you got to ask yourself, are you aligned with what the values are, what the vision is, and what the purpose is? And I really felt like I came out of that as, you know what, yes. So I got to get a chance to know the people in the building that Sam's got, and then, the community. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can to help in the community, as much as Sam and Mr. Bennett need me to help.
Curtis Fitzpatrick, Sports Animal, Fox 25. Kevin was quoted yesterday as saying you didn't recruit him to Florida. Why is that?
I wasn't sure he was good enough. I can't tell you. We probably felt like we couldn't get him. We probably felt like we couldn't get him. He had a very, very close relationship. And Kevin, if I'm wrong, you can tell me. I think my man Russell Springman. There was an assistant coach on Texas' staff that was from Maryland and had a lot of very close relationships with a lot of people that Kevin were close in his family, and I think that had probably played a big part in it. I'm happy we never saw him in the NCAA tournament, and that was a good thing. So.
Yeah, Billy, Sam referred to your emotional intelligence the other day. Trying to figure that out, it seems like a lot of people say that most coaches are maniacs. You were at one time. You're not that way anymore. Can you talk about your development? You seem to, people feel like you've sort of toned it down a lot over the years. Can you talk about if that's true and your evolution as your poise maybe on the sidelines?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm passionate. I wouldn't say I'm emotional. I'm passionate. Here's what I think. When you're in a highly competitive situation, okay, you hear the word commitment used, okay? And I just believe this in my heart to be true. There's three kinds of commitment. The first commitment is a verbal commitment. Someone says they're going to do something. Well, anybody can. That's the easiest commitment, okay? The next commitment is a physical commitment, where you're physically committed to doing something. And then the third commitment is an emotional commitment. And that's when you actually give of yourself to somebody else, that you actually are emotionally connected to somebody else and emotionally take responsibility to help somebody else develop and grow. And I think and I believe you have to have an emotional awareness to be able to connect with people, to help people grow and develop. It's no different in your closest relationships. There's an emotional. Now, those are the most dangerous, because a lot of times that emotional investment and commitment can be hurtful. When you don't achieve and get what you want. So for me, I think when Sam talks about emotional awareness, I think there needs to be an emotional connectivity for the team to reach its fullest potential. They've got to be emotionally connected, because you can make a verbal and a physical commitment, but it takes more than that. And I would say that some of the players that I had and the best teams I've been around, and I know the NBA is different than college, but I still think team-wise there's a lot of similarities at any level. They were emotionally invested into each other. Like there was a deep-rooted connection and emotional investment, and I think that that's something that's very, very important.
Coach, obviously the Thunder have a very loud and boisterous fan base. Just what have you heard about just how the atmosphere can get here on a game night?
Just been told it's one of the greatest environments in the league. It's a raucous crowd, an incredible environment. So I'm excited about that. That should be a lot of fun, because everybody I've talked to since I've walked into the arenas keeps telling me, you're not going to believe this place on game night. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, John Rohde with 107.7 The Franchise. Coach, with the roster so loaded, is it reasonable to expect the title next year? A lot of people are.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, like I said before, there's a process that we have to be willing to go through collectively as a group. There's a process we have to go through, and that process, you got to water the grass every single day. You got to water that soil if you want to get growth and development. So I think the only thing, and this may sound cliche, so I'm not trying to avoid the question, but we need to take care of today. And I think you get so far down the road that you forget to take care of today. So for me, Sam has always believed, and part of their philosophy and vision with the Thunder is that they're a process organization. They want to go through the process, and I agree with that. I fall in line with that as well. There's a process we all have to go through. The team, the coaches, everybody. There's no shortcuts, and we need to see clearly what it's going to take to be the very, very best of ourselves. That's my main goal. Can we come together and be the best version of ourselves collectively as a team? And where does that actually take us? And again, today is not about me. I'm here as the head coach, but it's really about the players. It's about the organization. It's about where I can put value. It's about all the other guys that are out there on the court playing every night.
Nathan Thompson, Fox 23 in Tulsa. Coach, obviously one of the big storylines of your first season will be the impending free agency of Kevin Durant, who's in the room here. How do you deal with that, and how much of those recruiting skills from college do you use on him?
Well, I think the first thing is I want to develop a better relationship with Kevin. I feel bad that he's still going through his injury and those kind of things. He's going to obviously have to do a lot of rehabilitation. I think he and I will have a chance to spend a lot of time together, because I'm going to try to get back in here very early next week and try to get acclimated. And with his rehab, I think we'll have a chance to sit down and really spend a lot of time together. I want to get to know him as a person. That's the most important thing to me. Whatever decision that he has to make. I feel very, very strongly about the organization and about Sam and Mr. Bennett and the commitment that I think a lot of those things probably line up with Kevin and how he feels. So I feel very, very confident in the organization, and I think the organization and Kevin, to me, from an outsider, and I'm just coming in right now, are a great match. In terms of he's been, along with Russell, the face of this franchise. Let's call it like it is. It's been him and Russell doing that, and that's really, really special. That's really, really special. And I know it's special for him, because coming here as a rookie and being here to this point, I know he can see the impact he's had, and I'm just excited about spending time with him.
Myron Patton again. When you made the jump or decided to make the jump, either in 07, Orlando, even now, is that a decision you make with just your family, or do you discuss, maybe talk to other coaches who maybe have thought about making the jump from college to the pros, or just how did you handle the whole process?
One of the things that's really been fortunate for me over the years is, obviously playing for, Rick Pitino, and him being an NBA coach and being around him as well, the relationships he's had. I think the other thing too is, every year we have a clinic on our campus, and we have college coaches, NBA coaches, but spending time in the summers with Doc Rivers, with Rick Carlisle, with Eric Spoelstra, Steve Clifford and Stan Van Gundy being right up the road in Orlando, spending a lot of time with them. It's just basketball coaches sharing. And I've been very fortunate. There's been a lot of NBA coaches over the years that have been willing to share and spend time and talk basketball there. So I think those relationships have probably helped me grow as a coach as well.
Billy, Bob Berry again. A lot of familiar faces either in the room or expected to be around you soon. Travis Ford, Bob Stoops, Lon Kruger. Can you talk about those guys that know something about?
Well, I was going to say
Florida?
something if no one brought those two guys up. It's pretty amazing in terms of you get kind of bookends here and connections. And I coached Travis at Kentucky for 3 years, and I was a lot younger and my back was a lot better. We used to play one-on-one before every home game. The year he had to sit out, and I love Travis, and he's done a great job at Oklahoma State, and he's a terrific coach. I've had a great relationship with him, and then Coach Kruger, again, coached the University of Florida in a very difficult time, and built back, I think, a lot of respectability inside of the program, where I think a lot of people didn't feel great about the program at that time, and took them to the Final Four. And I told him this story inside. My office was completely, there was nothing in it. There wasn't a picture on the wall. It was totally abandoned. And there was a letter just sitting on my desk, and it was from Coach, just wishing me luck and letting me know that I could call him anytime. And, having that Florida connection right up the road, too, has been really special. And I think on top of it, two really good coaches, but I think two even better people.
Coach, the biggest concern following this last year, other than injuries, is defense. What is your stance on defense?
Well, certainly it's got to be done collectively. It's got to be done together. Have a philosophy on what we're going to try to do defensively. I think one thing about defense is it needs to be drilled on a regular basis. You know, that it's something that probably needs to be rehearsed. There needs to be a level of discipline to it, how you rotate, how you move, how you cover for each other. You know, in doing that, I think you got to stay repetitive on those kind of things on a regular basis. But you got to, I think, have a system first and have an understanding of what you want the players to know and do. And that will be part of when practice starts to really try to get all that stuff in very quickly.
Dean Blevins, News 9. Coach, can you talk about Russell Westbrook? You played guard. Don't know that you played it the way he does it. He is a different breed.
I was a little bit more athletic than he was.
Can you talk both about what you have seen him as a player, what you think you can do to help him, and then he's been, you know, he may have led the league in technicals. He's got a little bit of a personality that's, I don't know, challenging and fun at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, fierce competitor. That comes out loud and clear. You know, one of the things I think with Russell that I would say would be to kind of help him as a point guard and put him in an environment where he can still be who he is. I think that's really, really important, but also have an understanding of how he can also in a positive way affect a lot of other people around him. I think trying to help him with those things will be very important. And like I said earlier, I think Scott's done a terrific job, you know, growing a lot of these guys when they were younger, and hopefully I can help continue in their growth. But I really admire Russell just because of how fierce of a competitor he is, how much he wants to win. And listen, I think when you want to win that bad, there's sometimes your emotions can get the best of you and they can boil over, and that's part of it. But I'm looking forward to coaching all these guys. I mean, I can't tell you. Those players should be excited the way Sam talked about them, because Sam's talked about them in a very, very positive light as people, and that really was very important to me.
Anyone else? Susan, last question.
Susan Bible, Basketball Insiders. Can you tell me, was your family on board with your decision, or did it take a lot of talking?
It took me twisting my wife's arm. No, I'm only kidding. No, my wife and my children couldn't have been any more supportive, couldn't have been any nicer, couldn't have been any better. If it wasn't meant to be, when Sam and I sat down and talked, and it was just like, you know what, you're over here and I'm over here, and this is just, I don't feel comfortable, it's not going to work, I think they would have been totally fine with me going back to the University of Florida. And I think where we're at right now, Sam and I think they're excited about being and moving to Oklahoma City and getting entrenched in the community and trying to help. So that made it very, very easy for me, to be honest with you, because I think when you get into a situation where you've got 19 years invested in a place and you've got kids that have invested in a place, my kids haven't had a chance to experience the coaching carousel where they've had to bounce around from a lot of different places, but I couldn't believe just how supportive they were, you know, of saying, hey, listen, we're all on board and we want to do this. And when you're at that point, I was able to talk to Sam about, you know, now the Thunder and the philosophy, and not have to say, hey, Sam, I got to really, really go back and talk to my family because I'm not so sure they're on board with this. That made it very, very easy for me just to look at the job.